Hey guys, so I am starting this new series where I am going to be vlogging these mini vlogs for the next like 30 days. So I'm going to be posting anything that happens throughout the day that I just find to be appalling, and just random things. I just would like to invite you into the world of my dating life. So this is gonna be dating chronicles and for the next 30 days. Let me just tell y'all this quick story. So I started talking to someone recently that I met online, and it's new. I would say 2 weeks new. So I don't know, y'all tell me if I'm wrong or not, or how do you feel about the situations. Please leave the comments below. All right, so I matched with this person on a dating app. We exchanged numbers, of course, and now we're speaking, right? So pink flags are popping up, meaning not immediate like what you would say red flags, but I will explain the whole story to you so you could tell me exactly, like, you know, what's the whole situation is going on. So anyway, I met this guy. He's 51 and he has all my non-negotiables. So I don't really want to share what my non-negotiables are, which I don't know if I should share them or not, but because it's not really like such a secret. But I have non-negotiables when I'm dating. So if you don't have those non-negotiables, we won't even exchange contact information. Has all my non-negotiables, and we start talking, right? So the first thing that came up for me was, you know, let's just say we were talking for about a week, and it was just basically every single day, but little conversations like good morning, good afternoon. And he's a phone person. He likes to actually have conversations, so he's not a texter, right? Which is fine with me. I'm pretty open to that. I don't have a problem with any form of communication as long as you keep my interest. So anyway, the first thing that popped up for me is, I don't know if I explained this to y'all in previous vlog, but like, I do not like when a man mentions anything sexual in the beginning of us getting to know each other. So he had mentioned something, but it wasn't nothing crazy. So I'm not gonna just straight up veto somebody because they call themselves flirting or whatever. Just of course it depends on what it is. But and now of course I don't really remember what it was, but he said something, so I kind of brushed it off. Not brushed it off, but I told him to repeat himself, and I think he kind of caught himself. So that was like, I would say strike one, but it was like a pink flag. The second thing that he did was he sent me a picture of himself, which I don't mind guys sending me like random pictures, but it's just like, we saw each other's profile, we saw each other pictures. After we exchanged numbers, I just don't be feeling like, what's the purpose of you sending like additional pictures? When men do that to me, it just seems like they're looking for some type of validation. That means that, to me, it basically means that you're insecure. You know what I'm saying? The picture that he sent me, y'all, was a picture of a so he sent me a screenshot of a picture that he took in 2015, and the date is on it. Like, you could see the date because it's an iPhone. He has an iPhone like me. You could see the date at the top. But not only did he screenshot me the picture from 2015, he also screenshotted, like, if you have an iPhone, you'll understand. If you're looking at pictures, like your picture album per se, and you're not just touching the picture, so you could just bring that picture out of that gallery, you can see like all the little pictures at the bottom because it's like the next picture, right? So I zoomed in and I'm looking at the bottom pictures, and it's like pictures of him with a female, and then other pictures with the female or whatever. So I was just like, is he doing this on purpose? Because I've had other people do it, but mostly people that do that kind of stuff is people that have like don't have iPhones, or they don't know what they're doing, and I didn't see pictures of them with other females, so I didn't say anything about the picture. I started to go into it, but I just felt like, no, what am I saying all that stuff for? I was like, all right, that's like another pink flag. So mind you, we've been talking for about 2 weeks. The week prior, I had plans. Like, my week was busy, whatever. So he was like, oh, I want to see you. I want to take you out on a date. He's telling me the place he want to take me to, whatever, which is cool, which is fine. It kind of shows me that you're eager about meeting up. So he had asked me, like, can I see you? And I was like, no, my week is kind of crazy. Maybe we can shoot for next week. So, of course, because we speak every single day, and he's basically telling me that, all his responsibilities, like what he has, how much, that's another thing. He told me how much money he makes and all his responsibilities. I mean, down to the fact that he's telling me he got his life insurance, how much it costs each month, how much his rent is, how much his insurance is, like everything, y'all. So I'm just letting him speak. And this is what I usually do when I date. I like men to talk to me because it gives me a sense of the type of person you are. And I do kind of like men to be transparent. Not that transparent, but I just like when men kind of like just let themselves go and talk and be comfortable, because that's when I'm going to get the authentic them. So he's talking. And he also, I don't want to reveal too much of him, his like information or whatever, or his scenario, but he also has like custody of his child, basically. So, and he explained to me that, like, he has a very large apartment, yada 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 yada. So we talking. So as he's talking and he's telling me all his responsibilities, he also mentions to me like, oh, I'm unable to save money every month, and I'm living paycheck to paycheck, and going on and on and on. He only has one child, by the way. And again, I'm gonna tell y'all, he's 51, and he has like a little business that he can do. But another thing is, I know I'm giving y'all a lot of information, but he's also, his job that he has now is very demanding. He only have one day off out the week, so it's like a couple of things that's popping up for me. Our schedules are totally out of whack. You're off on an opposite day of when I am off. Sounds like living paycheck to paycheck and telling me that you are unable to save money is basically kind of giving me insight that we won't be able to go out on dates, right? So now that was between last week and this week, because like I'm telling y'all, it's only been like 2 weeks of us talking. So yesterday he tells me, or the day before yesterday, I don't remember what day it was, but he tells me like how he's going to rent out one of the rooms in his apartment because he basically needs help paying his rent. So as he's explaining to me, he's like, oh, someone came to see it, they're gonna take it, etc., etc., etc. In my mind, I'm like, I asked him, I was like, how does your child feel about it? And he was like, oh, they're cool with it. And I was just saying, okay, like, kind of sounds a little kind of scary to me, especially when you have your child there, whatever. If it's not like family or friends, it's kind of like a stranger coming into your house with your child. To me, is just kind of like diabolical, but that's another story. So, but I'm not saying none of this to him because I'm just listening. So I do understand that a lot of people out here are struggling. I'm struggling as my damn self. So I get how people can be in a position where they feel like they have to find some way to make money. Mind you, I told you he has a side hustle already. So again, you couldn't keep making money in that direction, but you want additional resources. So we're talking. So last night, he's like, oh, the person is going to take the room. I'm like, okay, fine. That's like your life, right? But then he starts with the sexual conversation again. So again, like I told y'all before, like I don't mind having certain conversations with men as long as you don't cross boundaries and get out of line, or if you flirting and saying little things, but just like keeping in contact. So like last night he annoyed me a little bit because it's like, all right, I was kind of trying to be nice about it, but now you're like going above and beyond. So in the same breath, he was kind of like, am I annoyed? No, he's like, am I boring you? But honestly, when we were talking last night, I was exhausted. I had zero energy. I really didn't want to talk on the phone, but I was trying to be nice, right? So I was like, no, I'm just kind of tired. And he was like, okay, well, just go get your rest. We'll talk later. So when I woke up this morning, to be honest with y'all, I really felt like he left me like a bad taste in my mouth. So I didn't really feel like talking to him. So I didn't text him, say good morning, nothing. So he calls me about 12 on his lunch break, and he's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, I'm good. What's up with you? He's like, oh, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm working. I just literally started working not too long ago, because this morning I got up, I was doing house stuff like dishes, organization, etc., etc. So he's like, okay. So then he continues to talk, and he's like, oh yeah, well, the person is going to take the place, so now I can like take you out on a date. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, like that. So he's like, okay, like that's that. And I was like, yeah, like I don't know, what did you, I was like, oh, okay, I appreciate it. And he was like, oh, well, that was your response? Like I was like, okay, so like what did you expect me to say? And he was just like, I expected you to say, thank you, baby, that's so, thank you, that's so nice. And he said, but in your own way. And I said, well, I did say I appreciate it, so like that's not enough. And he was just like, oh no, yeah, maybe. And I was just like, well, anyway, I'm working, I will talk to you later. But I am 100% turned off. I'm turned off for a few different reasons, but I don't know what y'all think. What would y'all do in this situation? I'm annoyed, so more often than not, I'm going to like remove myself from the situation without even giving an explanation, because it's only been 2 weeks. But what would y'all do in a scenario like this? Was I supposed to jump up and down and tell him that, oh my God, I'm so happy that you could take me out on a date? Like, oh my God, like what was I supposed to do in that predicament? I don't know. Y'all tell me. I don't know. That's just food for thought for the day. Leave the comments down below. Peace.